It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, good morning to you on Tuesday. Hope you're having a good week so far. We got some weather coming our way. Some of you may be experiencing it already. Storms possible throughout the day, especially this morning. So heads up there. It just happens to also be Severe Weather Preparedness Week. That is underway. So there could be more rain, and I've heard the 4-letter snow word. I don't know about that. So what you want to do is check in and stay tuned for Wake Up Weather with Abby Dyer. She will have the rundown of what you can accept, what you can expect, and she'll get you set for the whole day and the week. So there you go.
All right. So remember the disturbing story out of Webster County a few months ago when 2 men carrying multiple women and children in the back of a U-Haul got pulled over on I-44. Something didn't sit right. It just didn't add up. But one of those men pleaded guilty and was sentenced. Shaquem Bristol pleaded guilty to first-degree child endangerment and was sentenced to 5 years of supervised probation. If he violates that probation, he will spend 7 years in federal prison. This all happened back in September along I-44 that troopers found 7 kids ages 2 to 13 in the back of a U-Haul truck. There were also 5 women inside, no air conditioning, lots of trash, food containers, clothing. Anywho, we now kind of have an update on that story. And the second man who was arrested that day will have his day in court at a later time.
So, man, that's a weird story.
It was weird. You remember it, don't you?
Of course I remember that. I mean, to get probation, it must not be what we thought it was, because it seemed like this could be a human trafficking thing. But I mean, I didn't follow the court case all the way through, but clearly it couldn't have been that, right? To get supervised probation.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So gotcha.
Yeah. It's interesting. All right. The Missouri Department of Corrections is getting slapped with a lawsuit for wrongful death. An inmate in solitary confinement died with a horse tranquilizer in his system in what was found out to be an overdose on fentanyl and xylazine. The inmate's mom says this happened because the prison was negligent to check what was coming in the door. Alan Lancaster is the man who OD'd. He was serving a 20-year sentence for burglary, robbery, assault, and kidnapping. His mom, who filed the suit, says the system was not forthcoming with what happened to her son.
Sad deal.
Yes.
An associate circuit judge in Carroll County is on leave without pay. The Missouri Supreme Court has ruled in this case, says Joe Don McHugh has failed to perform his judicial duties, and they say he was untruthful with parties involved in his cases. He is currently on leave for a year, and he will have to undergo a mental evaluation before he could ever return to the bench. Wow.
Prairie Pie in downtown Springfield is moving locations. Within a couple weeks, they will be moving into the Tea-Bar and Bites, which is on Pickwick. They're in the Roundtree neighborhood. Mm-hmm. They will still continue their pies, cookies, and take and bake pot pies.
Okay.
Sounds tasty.
Good for them.
Have you been to Tea-Bar and Bites?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tim took me there, too.
Okay. It's been forever since I have been.
Yeah.
But what I remember about Tea-Bar and Bites is that I went right after Caroline, our oldest daughter, was born. And I was holding her in my arms. And it was supposed to be like a fun little lunch date with some coworkers while I was on maternity leave. And I just sat there and cried the whole time. Like all my hormones were still out of whack. And Caroline was crying for some unknown reason as an infant. And I just sat there and cried. And I was like, I thought this place was supposed to be cool. I mean, it is a cool place. It just wasn't a cool season of life, you know? It was hard.
Yeah, it can be hard. That's for sure.
Sleep deprived. I mean, now it's awesome. So I'm thankful. I don't mishear me. I'm not complaining. I just remember this very vivid scene of me sitting there going, like it was so awkward. People are like, why is she so sad? She has a cute baby.
That's funny. Well, it's
Fair
not
question.
the only lunch I think she's probably ruined, but she's grown up to be a wonderful young lady. And I think I said Tim, one of our old photographers at KY3 took me there, but I think maybe it was Rob.
Rob West?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
I think Rob is the one who took me there.
Yeah.
You get to a town,
took me. Yeah.
You get to a town when you're new and, you trust the photographers on where to eat. And if you have time to eat that day, which isn't always a foregone conclusion, then they take you to some good places.
That's fun.
Skype is going away in just a couple of months. In the month of May, the video conferencing service is moving over to Microsoft Teams, and users, therefore, can move over their existing accounts if they'd like to do that. But Skype, it's like something from the Jetsons, and now we can do it.
It reminded me of MySpace.
Yeah.
When I saw the story, I was like MySpace,
There's maybe one, I can't remember which one, but there's one major network that still uses it. It may be Fox News because it was owned. I think they owned it. The overall News Corp, I think maybe owned it. Because whenever I do live shots at disaster scenes for some of the news networks, there's one of them that I have to do on Skype. I remember
that's
that.
Fun.
I forget which one.
Old school.
Yeah, it's going away. Springfield nonprofit Rescue One is gathering supplies to help people who foster pets. The shelter relies on donations to help families pay for those fostered animals. So Rescue One is now asking for adult dog food, if you can, as well as canned puppy food. Springfield nonprofit Rescue One. And this is, of course, the final season for the Missouri State Bears in the Missouri Valley Conference, and the Valley's postseason tournament tips off Thursday. The Bears, sadly, are the lowest seed in the tournament, seeded 12th. They will play the 5th-seeded Illinois State Redbirds at 2:30 in the p.m. up in St. Louis. You can watch that game if you want to on ESPN Plus and see how they do. Maybe they'll run the table.
Yeah.
And get an automatic berth in the tournament. It could happen.
Yeah, I feel good about it.
It could happen.
This Friday and Saturday, the Sac River Cowboy Church Event Center in Springfield is hosting a 2-day concert featuring more than a dozen local bluegrass and gospel bands. So two genres of music that have quite a loyal following. The musicians are donating their time to raise money for Convoy of Hope. So that's very cool. There will also be food available that you can buy during the concerts. It's a benefit concert, been going for 19 years.
Yeah.
And all starts at 6:00 on Friday evening. And then again on Saturday at noon. So 6:00 Friday, noon on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, 19 years is a long time to be doing a benefit concert, but they've been doing it. They get a good crowd each and every year. And they're good friends of Convoy of Hope. They make a great donation, and everybody wins. So
yes, I like that church. I spoke at that church not that long ago, and it was really great. It was a great place.
You called it the Sac River. Isn't it Sac?
Well, I used to ride the bike trail out there, and I called it Sac River, but they called it Sac River.
Sac or sock?
Sac. They called it Sac.
Okay.
So I just adopted the term. I don't know. Somebody watching knows. So you can put the pronunciation in the comments. People
call it different things. When I got here, there was a debate in the newsroom about it, and I think sock is what I was told. One?
Okay, well, just so you know, I didn't learn to properly pronounce the Gilloys after 20 years in local news. True. I just recently learned how to pronounce the Gilloys.
That is true.
We met Jeff. So I'm just saying newsroom debates are not always accurate.
So maybe I shouldn't be asking you.
Yeah, there you go. Can't be trusted.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us on this Tuesday. We hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. How about that?
Sounds good. Bye.
Yep.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by John's Heating and Air, Command Family Medicine, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday. You are listening to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Thanks for starting out this day with me. If you like wild weather, then you are going to love today and tomorrow. It is kind of a crazy forecast here. I can't even believe I'm saying it. This morning, we're starting out near 50 degrees. We'll warm to the 60s. In this forecast, I have high winds, wind advisories. I've got cloud cover. I've got rain. I've got thunderstorms, the chance for severe weather, snow. Yes, all of it in the forecast. And it's all happening in about the next 48 hours. So unbelievably strong weather system moving through the central United States this morning. It is packing a punch and bringing impacts to nearly all of the country. And we are not left out of that here in the Ozarks. The big story is that we have a chance for rain and even some thunderstorm activity today, with a few storms that are a bit on the strong side. The real severe weather risk, though, today is going to be to our south. Northern Arkansas down into portions of southern Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. That's going to be the real bullseye for severe weather today. We are primarily in the rainfall in the forecast today, and then wind, big time wind, maybe gusts up to 50 miles an hour. These are non-thunderstorm wind gusts for the forecast tomorrow. It's going to be a crazy day with much colder air spilling into the Ozarks. So in comparison, this morning, the temperatures look pretty good. Rain gear, a must for today. It looks like a good widespread rainfall for the Ozarks this morning. Anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rainfall is really what I'm expecting area wide. There could even be some isolated places that see higher totals than that. Highest rainfall totals should be in our far western counties, but everybody gets in on the rain today. And there could even be some localized places that see closer to 2 inches of rainfall in this one event. So some street ponding, definitely, perhaps some minor flooding. That's what we'll be looking out for. There's also a chance that some of these thunderstorms do produce some severe weather. Now, I think the main risk for us this morning, if you hear the thunder, see the lightning, there could be some small hail in some of the storms that develop early on today. I'm already tracking some of those on the radar, and the radar will blossom with rain showers and thunderstorms as we head through much of the afternoon. We keep the rain going into the forecast this evening and tonight. And later tonight, that real risk of severe weather is going to stay primarily in northern Arkansas, but it's all modes of severe weather that are possible. And I have to at least mention it. I think it's an isolated chance, but there's a chance for some of the severe weather in any of the thunderstorms that develop later today, because it is such a powerful storm system with a lot of dynamics going on. So the risks here for this afternoon and evening include large hail, damaging wind gusts of 65 miles an hour or stronger, and even some isolated tornadoes. So be on alert. Make sure you have a way to get your warnings later today. Then this whole system is going to be moving on out of here. The rain changes to snowfall overnight, and I think it completely converts to snow. So this time tomorrow, when you're listening to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, it could be snow and not rain that is falling. It's not going to be a huge impact event, but our northern counties could see some very minor impacts. The dusting may accumulate on the roads in some places, could have some minor travel impacts for us early tomorrow. The other big concern for tomorrow, which could mean travel impacts, is the wind. Winds pick up tonight. In fact, a wind advisory goes into effect tonight for all of the Ozarks and lasts through tomorrow, with wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour through Wednesday. So even though temperatures don't look that cold, highs near 40 tomorrow, put a 50 mile an hour wind on that, and it feels pretty dang cold across the area. So that's my message to you this morning. We are talking springtime temperatures, numbers near 60, rain, thunderstorms. Pack the rain gear. Tomorrow, you'll want the mittens, the gloves, the hats, and the winds are going to be incredible strong out of the northwest, very windy all through the day. And then we will finally see our weather pattern regulate a little bit on Thursday as that storm system moves off to the east coast and brings all of its hazards with it. All right. So the impacts across the country are basically all from this one very powerful low pressure system that I'm tracking. A major storm. It's moving through the central U.S. today, bringing widespread hazards across the country, including damaging high winds, blizzard conditions, severe weather, and a concern for some flash flooding for a few folks. Extreme fire danger also happening on the backside of this system for the southern high plains today. And then we've got below normal temperatures for the west and the plains. So much happening, and it's all thanks to this super powerful low pressure system that is basically as strong as a Category 2 hurricane. In some places, we're seriously going to have some winds that are incredibly strong, and it's going to be making a big punch across the country. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question for the day. The question that I left you with yesterday: what is the driest desert on Earth? The options were A, Atacama, B, Arabian, C, Sahara, or D, Kalahari. I did not know this. Atacama is the actual driest desert on Earth. It is located in Chile. It is the driest place on Earth outside of Antarctica. Average rainfall is about 0.6 inches per year, and some locations only receive 0.04 inches of rain per year. Some weather stations in an entire year receive 0 rain. So it is pretty incredible. This location, rich in copper and nitrates, and has also been subject to several border disputes between Chile and Bolivia. So it is definitely an extreme landscape here on planet Earth. Congrats if A was your guess. Here's the quiz question that I'll leave you with for tomorrow. What famous scientist proposed daylight saving time? Do you think that goes to A, Albert Einstein, B, Isaac Newton, C, Benjamin Franklin, or D, George Hudson? You can submit your guess. That's at the website, aroundtheozarks.com. Thanks so much for listening this morning, and thanks to our sponsors, John's Heating and Air, Command Family Medicine, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. We will chat again early tomorrow morning, and I hope you stay safe today. Have a way to get those watches and warnings for severe weather potential today. It's going to be a wet one in the Ozarks. You need winter gear back tomorrow. High wind is expected in the Ozarks. We'll chat again first thing tomorrow.